All right, welcome back to another After Dark, everyone. Hope you all are having a good night so far. Hope you guys had a good day. Had a request to check out this video. What channel is it from? It's from the old school b-ball channel. And this one caught my interest because I know this is probably the first. Let me read the title first. Dodging Bullets: How Jordan and Pippen Got by Washington in a 1997 Playoff Masterclass. Now, as far as I remember, I believe this was the first round, and 97. I can't remember if they swept Washington or what happened here, but obviously there's got to be something to this. And this was recommended through the comments for me to check out, so I'm very curious. They said I would enjoy it, so I think we're all going to enjoy it. Let's see what happens. Anyways, as I always do, I'm going to link the original video down below for old school b-ball. That's going to be in the comments section. I'm sorry, not in the comments section, in the description. You think after I say the same thing 1,000 times I'd get it right? Nope. Also in there, you'll find a list of our channel members, which, by the way, new channel member, old Ludwig Drummer. Old Ludwig Drummer. Thank you very much for signing on. Glad to have you on board. Yeah, so you're going to see your name in there in the description, and enjoy that Larry O'Brien trophy next to your username. And any comment that you leave me, I will see it no matter what. Doesn't matter if there's 1,000 comments, I will see you and all of you other members. I appreciate you all, guys. Let's get into this. Like the vid, I'd appreciate it a ton. Let's see what I'm lacking in the 1997 playoff round against Washington.
It is April 30th, 1997, US Air Arena in Landover, Maryland. And look, I'm not saying this place was a dump, but it makes the old Boston Garden look like the Taj Mahal. The kind of arena where you could practically smell the decades of spilled beer through your TV. The Washington Bullets, down 2-0 to the Bulls and desperately trying to extend their playoff lives, somehow have a 95-94 lead with seconds remaining.
Okay, guys, I really, like, in my heart of hearts, I seem to remember, I think the Bulls swept them, but I'm not 100% sure. But they're starting out 2-0. Back then, if this is the first round, all you had to do was win 3 games and you're out. But let's see.
Michael Jordan, the basketball god who dropped 55 on these same Bullets 3 days earlier,
Ouch.
has the ball. Of course he does. It is like watching a horror movie where you know the teenager shouldn't go into the basement. But they always do. The Bullets are that teenager. Jordan is whatever is.
Hold up.
Always do. The Bullets.
I haven't gotten a good look at you guys in a while. Dude, this is a good team. You got Mirasan, you got C Webb, you got Howard. Who you got on the front line? Who are your guards? Looks like that was your weakness. Was some perimeter players, huh? Damn, but I'll tell you what. This backcourt looks good right there. That trio is solid. You just need some shooters.
Bullets are that teenager. Jordan is whatever is waiting in the basement. He
The monster.
rises up, and then something weird happens.
You get fouled?
He loses the ball.
Oh.
The greatest clutch performer in basketball history just loses the ball.
Oh,
it
what?
floats in the air like a balloon that slipped from child's hand.
Holy crap, it slipped off a sweat, I guess. Wow.
You know how this ends for Washington. You just don't know how it ends.
Okay, I'm invested. What happens
Let
next?
me take you back to April 1997. The Spice Girls were dominating the charts.
All right, guys, let's go ahead and do it.
To April 1997, the
Which one did you have a crush on? Which one did you have a crush on, guys? I guess I had a crush on her. I wasn't really big into the Spice Girls though, but I guess that was my style back then. Let me know in the comments.
Spice Girls were dominating the charts.
Yep.
Austin Powers had just hit theaters.
Sex,
and
yes,
the Chicago Bulls were putting together one of the most ridiculous 2-year runs in sports history. These weren't just the defending champions who went 72-10 the previous season. They were a global phenomenon.
Yep.
The Beatles with high tops, 69-13 in 96-97. That is a .841 winning percentage,
Yeah, man.
which is
crazy to think. We always talk about the 72 win season. They only won 3 less this one.
basically what happens when you're playing NBA.
Wow. Sorry. Miami was playing great. Knicks are right there. Hawks, huh? Hawks in 1997. Interesting. Yeah, Pistons had declined by then. And wow, that actually surprises me a lot. Orlando. Okay, that also answers my question. This should probably be the first round. One seed versus the 8 seed. All right, let's get back to NBA Jam.
841 winning percentage, which is basically what happens when you're playing NBA Jam with cheat codes on. The Bulls of this era didn't just beat you. They broke your spirit, stole your girlfriend, and make you question your life choices. Their combined 141-23 record over 2 seasons is still the best 2-year stretch ever.
Wow.
And it is not particularly close. When the Bulls arrived in your city, it wasn't a game. It was an event, like when Queen or Springsteen comes to town and even your mom wants tickets. They were rock stars, and as Rodman put it, it is like circuses coming to town. We're like a road show. Everybody wants to see Michael, Scotty, and Dennis. And their first round opponent, the Washington Bullets, who were essentially the basketball equivalent of a 90s one-hit wonder. You know, like they had their moment, but nobody was confusing them with the New York Knicks or Miami Heat.
Fair.
Don't get me wrong,
That's
the
fair.
Bullets were actually interesting, and that could have been something special under different circumstances kind of way.
There's a
They
lot
had
of talent
Chris
there.
Webber and Juwan Howard, 2/5 of Michigan's Fab Five, reunited and making a combined $300 million. They had Rod Strickland, who's basically the Pulp Fiction of point.
Dude, forget about it then. I didn't recognize Rod in that photo. So they had a great point guard. Why didn't this work?
Guards, critically acclaimed, but somehow never got the mainstream recognition he deserved.
Yeah, no, Rod deserves so much more credit than he got. He was way ahead of his time. Great guard.
And they had George Mursha,
Yeah, Georgie.
the 7'7" Romanian giant, who would later star in possibly worst basketball movie ever made, My Giant, with Billy Crystal.
Oh my God. I've never watched this. Guys, let me know in the comments. Do I need to watch My Giant? Should I watch My Giant? I like Billy Crystal. I don't know if I'll like this movie though.
I'm still not convinced this movie wasn't just an elaborate prank on American audiences. The Bullets had been terrible for nearly a decade. Their last playoff appearance came in 1988, when Jordan was still wearing short shorts, and most of us thought Bon Jovi was cool.
Okay.
But after mid-season coaching change, bringing in Bernie Bickerstaff to replace Jim Lennon, they went 22-13 down the stretch. They sneaked in the playoffs on the final day, beating Cleveland in a game that mattered only because someone had to be sacrificial lamb for Chicago in round 1. It is like winning a contest where the prize is getting punched by Mike Tyson. Congratulations.
Fair.
The whole
Fair enough.
Webber-Howard reunion was fascinating. These guys were polar opposites who somehow became the best friends at Michigan. Webber was the flashy, charismatic superstar from Detroit with the $1 million smile. Howard was the serious, no-nonsense grinder from Chicago's South Side who never cracked a joke that wasn't immediately followed by "just kidding." They were basketball's odd
Is Juwan Howard still coaching in college, by the way?
couple. Felix and Oscar with 40-inch verticals. Batman and Robin without the tights. They shaved clothes, hopes, dreams, and famously changed the college basketball forever with their baggy shorts and black socks when they arrived at Michigan. It is great sharing this with Chris, Howard said before the Bulls series. The two of us have been through so much together. Their NBA journeys hadn't exactly been smooth sailing. Webber had that disastrous season in Golden State where he basically got into a death match with Coach Don Nelson. Howard had the infamous free agency saga where he signed with Miami, cried about leaving Washington, then had to return when the league voided the Heat deal because of some salary cap voodoo. But now they were back together, like when your favorite band reunites for one last tour, except this tour was opening for the Beatles in their prime. The crazy thing about the 1997 Bulls is that Jordan and Pippen had reached this weird basketball nirvana where they were basically basketball soulmates. Remember in Pulp Fiction when John Travolta and Samuel L. Jackson are just completely in sync during the apartment scene? That was Jordan and Pippen except for 48 minutes every night for years. This wasn't just a professional relationship.
I don't know about you guys, but this video is hilarious so far.
Anymore. These guys had genuinely become friends. Real friends. The I'll give you my Ferrari because you want it kind of friends.
That's how we saw it, man. Yeah. Jordan shared his first finals MVP with Pippen, you know, in the best way he could. I'll keep the trophy, you keep the car kind of stuff. Nowadays, it's sounding a little different. It's sounding a little different if you listen to Scotty's perspective, but I don't know, man. I hope you get some help, Scotty. I hope you have a better future, man.
Seriously, Jordan straight up gave Pippen his Ferrari when Pip admired it, taking Scotty's Porsche in return, even though the Ferrari was worth twice as much. Mm-hmm. It is nothing you wouldn't do for your brother, yeah, Jordan said.
Of course.
Making the rest of us question our own friendships. When Jordan returned...
Yeah, I gotta make some rich friends.
From his baseball hiatus in 1995, he didn't just come back for championships. He came back for Pippen. Scotty was definitely one of the reasons I came back, Jordan admitted. I asked him how it was, how he felt, and how he was suffering. I could feel he wanted me back basketball-wise and as a friend, and I missed him too. After a decade together, these guys had seen everything. Their lockers had moved closer over the years, so had their seats on the plane. They shared breakfast, cigars, card games. Even their warm-up routines were in sync, like they were auditioning for the basketball Olympics.
They used to work out in the mornings too with Tim Grover. The two of them and Ron Harper, those three would work out together. That's according to Ron Harper. So yeah, they were all close. Now Scotty insists like they never hung out, but it sounds like they did a lot outside of the team. But I guess if you're working out together, then I guess Scotty's not counting it. But when you're a professional athlete, when are you not working out? You know, when is it not something that's being focused on the game? So if you're doing bonus stuff that's not required from the organization, like an actual practice or a game, I would consider that like you're hanging out. Why not?
We would probably never would have been champions without each other, Pippen reflected.
Oh, and now Scotty says he would have won 6. I would have got mines, he says. Without Jordan, that is.
What might be the understatement of the century. Game 1 at the United Center was about as pretty as Shaq free throw. The Bulls shot 38 from the field and won anyway because they were the Bulls. The bullets came out jittery like teenagers on a first date. Weber picked up his first foul at just 18 seconds into the game trying to block a Jason Caffey jumper. That is like getting a parking ticket while still buckling your seatbelt.
Let Jason Caffey take that shot, man. They'll foul him.
The real story was the return of both Dennis Rodman and Tony Kukoc from extended absences. Rodman had missed the final 13 games with knee sprain. Kukoc had a foot injury that made him move like he was wearing cement shoes. Their returns were about as smooth as dial-up internet. Kukoc shot an abysmal one.
Wait.
About as smooth as dial-up internet. Kukoc shot an abysmal 1 for 10. Rodman inevitably got himself ejected with 6:23 remaining after picking up his second technical from
Wait a second. So you're missing both of your power forwards? 23 minutes, 1.9 rebounds? Dennis.
referee Steve Javi.
playoffs.
The referees hadn't seen Dennis in a while, and he hadn't seen the refs in a while. Jordan explained
He has to
afterward
learn all
with
over
the
again.
patience of a kindergarten teacher. He has to learn all over again how to tighten his reins. Despite Weber's foul trouble limiting him to 24 minutes,
Wow.
the Bullets hung around. They were down just 50-49 early in the third quarter. Before the Bulls gradually pulled away, Steve Kerr hit some dagger threes. Jordan scored 29.
Oh, I'm just saying, I would love for this channel to break down every just random series like this, because I don't even care what the stakes are. This is a first round series. This is really entertaining.
Bulls took Game 1, 98-86. After the game, Weber and Howard were basically auditioning for roles in the Crucible, acting like every whistle was a personal affront to their families. But this wasn't just a rookie refs being intimidated by the Bulls' mistake. This was the Bullets discovering the difference between the regular season basketball and playoff intensity against the gold standard. Meanwhile, Dennis Rodman...
I feel like that's what got Boston knocked out this year too. Like, they forgot what the playoffs are all about, and especially this year, because they added a lot more physicality back in, and the refs weren't blowing whistles so often. Like, you got to adjust to the playoffs, man. There's different rules in the playoffs, so figure it out in game 1 and then move forward. But don't complain about calls you're not going to get, man. You're not going to get those calls.
Was causing his usual off-court chaos. His second book, Walk on the Wild Side, was set to be released during the series because of course it was.
Of course.
Rodman never met a spotlight he didn't try to steal, reposition, and then bathe in. The book was classic Rodman. He appeared nude on the cover with tiger stripe body paint, criticized everyone from the Bulls management to teammates to Shaq, who he said might as well...
What the hell? I don't remember this one. I remember the other one where he's like butt naked on the back of it and you see his backside butt naked. Yeah. Sucks, but it's true. I've seen it too many times. I've never heard of this one though, anyways. Have you guys heard of this? Hell, have you guys ever read a Dennis Rodman book? Because I have not. And I'm kind of curious now, all these years later, what the hell is in those books?
Dress up as a Pepsi can when he plays, and generally did everything possible to ensure the Bulls' PR staff needed therapy. The book was so outrageous that Oprah Winfrey, who had welcomed Rodman for his first book, cancelled his appearance, saying it would be inappropriate to promote it to our viewers. When you're too controversial for Oprah in the 90s, you reached a special level of notoriety.
I know, especially since she's a Chicago girl, big old Chicago Bulls fan. Oh no.
This was happening while Rodman was trying to find his rhythm on the court after missing significant time. His knee brace was bothering him, his conditioning was off, and he looked like a role player than the rebounding alien who led the league for 6 straight seasons. Game 2 wasn't just a basketball game, it was performance art. It was Jimi Hendrix at Woodstock. It was Michael Jackson doing the moonwalk.
If y'all haven't heard that Jimi Hendrix Woodstock set, man, that is magical. Also, for those who care, I hear a lot of confirmations that he used to lace his that hat that he wore on stage. He would lace it with acid tablets, not tablets, whatever, the little paper cutouts. And as he would sweat on stage throughout his set, he would start tripping out during the set, and that would kind of play into, well, the crazy randomness that we heard in a Jimi Hendrix set that was somehow very musical and amazing at the same time, but it was never the same 2 nights in a row. Well, that would probably be why.
For the first time, it was Jordan being Jordan when Jordan needed the most Jordan he could be. MJ dropped...
Can you say that again?
It was Michael Jackson doing the moonwalk for the first time. It was Jordan being Jordan when Jordan needed the most Jordan he could be.
Okay.
MJ dropped 55 points
Double
on
nickel.
22 of 35 shooting,
Damn.
including 20 of the Bulls' 23 fourth quarter points.
Damn, well, what he scored? It was shooting like 60%.
This wasn't just scoring. This was an assassin methodically executing a hit in broad daylight while 20,000 people watched and millions more witnessed it on TV. The Bullets actually led 65-58 at halftime, which is like having a lead on Godzilla. He decides to start trying. Washington was hitting
What is this video? I don't remember this level of humor on this channel.
shots, playing with confidence, and genuinely looking like they belonged on the same court. Then Jordan decided enough was enough. Poor Calbert Cheaney, tasked with guarding Jordan, played textbook defense, hand in the face, proper positioning.
Yep.
Everything his coaches had ever taught him. It made absolutely no difference. At one point, Cheaney even asked Jordan, "Aren't you tired yet?" Jordan's response, "Have we won yet? Then I ain't tired."
That's the line. That's the line that brought me here. Okay. All right. I've never heard that line before. I just got to play. Aren't you tired yet? Have you won yet? Then I ain't tired. Dude. That's brutal. That's brutal.
That
You might want to just ask the coach to sub you out at that point. Like, nah, I'm done. I'm done guarding this dude. He's not human.
exchange tells you everything you need to know about why Jordan is Jordan and why the rest of us merely spectators in his universe. The Bulls won 109.
Yeah, that's one dude who definitely is the main character. Whatever he does, he is the main character. It's not a syndrome. He is that guy. Yeah, the rest of us are the rest of us.
104 to take a commanding 2-0 lead.
We're the
But
NPCs.
cracks were showing. Beyond Jordan's heroics, the sporting cast was struggling. Kukoc couldn't move laterally enough to guard a fire hydrant, allowing Tracy Murray
yeah.
to score 22 points. Rodman played 13 minutes in the first half and had just one rebound
Ouch.
when Weber accidentally tipped the ball into Bulls basket.
Oops.
What's so frustrating is not only does he go by 3 defenders, but he seems to be the only one doing anything. Weber said afterward. Not only does he get the 55 points, but he seems to be the sole reason they won.
Yeah. And so many people want to take away his any credit, and he's not even trying to take his own credit. But we as fans give him so much credit because we saw what he was willing to do every game, every round. Right here, he's got 2 of his guys who are down, and he's still carrying the team. You go to the 98 finals, Pippen was broken, and he still carried the damn team. You know, like he's done this time and time again. He doesn't ask for a damn thing, and still people want to discredit him and take it away from him. Even though he didn't ask for it to begin with, he was just doing his damn job.
He wasn't wrong. As the series shifted to US Air Arena for Game 3, the Bullets remained defiant in that way teams always are right before they get eliminated.
Damn.
It's like watching someone in quicksand insisting they're fine while reaching for a branch. We are not here just to learn, Weber insisted. We are here to prove something first. Meanwhile, Phil Jackson was so concerned about the potential Game 3 loss that he practically yawned when discussing it, saying a loss would be nothing earth-shaking or mind-shattering. The Bulls could simply use the energy level output Friday night to kind of get our game tuned. This is what we call in the business a psychological advantage.
It
When
is.
one team is fighting for their playoff lives and the other is treating the potential loss like a minor inconvenience, it is not exactly a level of playing field. Jackson, basketball's Zen Master Jedi Knight, had started wearing his championship ring during the playoffs. A tradition he maintained throughout his coaching career.
That's psychological warfare, intimidation. I love it.
Was his not so subtle reminder to everyone, I've been here before many times, you haven't.
Yep.
But
He's not
something
gonna crack.
interesting was happening. Despite being down 0-2, the Bullets were gaining confidence.
Whoa. And Bill Wennington was
happening.
out too.
Despite being down 0-2.
Okay, so you got both of your power forwards who are injured. And then even if you wanted to have Bill play the 4, which would be an idea I would have Luke in the 5 and Bill in the 4, you can't. Bill's injured. And who's your other option? You got the old Robert Parrish over there. still on the team, but he's a center anyways, not a forward, so he can't help you in this situation. Interesting. I don't remember this round being so packed with injuries.
The Bullets were gaining confidence, and now they were heading home to a crowd that hadn't seen playoff basketball since the Reagan administration. April 30th, 1997, Game 3. The Bullets came out like they'd been shot out of a cannon, racing to a 14-2 lead as the home crowd, including Vice President Al Gore, lost their minds. Phil Jackson, in his typical fashion, refused to call timeout. Why? Because Phil Jackson isn't like normal coaches. He wants his team to feel the insecurity and uncertainty and have to deal with it. It is like parenting by throwing your kid into the deep end to teach swimming. By the quarter's end, the Bulls had...
That's true. And Phil wasn't lying when he talked to the press about it. If we lose, it's actually not the worst thing in the world. They need to feel that if they're going to win a championship, and they need to not just storm past every single team every game, because if they do that, the second they get really challenged, they're not going to know what to do. So yeah, this is good. This is good for their run.
Weathered the storm. Washington led just 30-29. The game swung back and forth like a playground match with no refs. Tracy Murray was unconscious off the Bullets bench. Juwan Howard was playing the game of his life. The Bullets led 65-58 at halftime, and a Game 4 seemed like a distinct possibility. But the third quarter is when championship teams typically make their move. The Bulls tightened the defensive screws, forced turnovers, and slowed the pace. It is what champions do. They adjust, they respond, they remind you why they're wearing the crown. Yet with 5:14 left in the game, Chris Webber slammed home a dunk to give Washington a 90-81 lead. The arena was shaking. The Bullets were less than 5 minutes from...
Wow, Luke, you got killed on that one.
From forcing
Why is Luke Longley guarding Webb? Oh, it's because the power forwards are injured. Never mind.
And making this a legitimate series. And then Michael Jordan again. Jordan scored
this fucking guy
14 of his 28 points in the fourth quarter,
14.
including 10 during a crucial stretch that brought the Bulls back after Juwan Howard hit 2 free throws to give Washington a 95-94 lead with seconds remaining. The stage was set for our opening moment. Jordan drove, lost the ball, and Scottie Pippen, forever in Jordan's shadow despite being one of the 50 greatest ever, grabbed it and attacked the basket. He rose over Calbert Cheaney and threw down a dunk with authority, crashing hard to the floor afterward. A few years back, I'd have gotten the ball and looked for Michael to take the big shot, Pippen said afterward, acknowledging his evolution, but the opportunity presented itself and I took it to the basket hard. 96-9.
Fell hard too. Ouch.
95 Bulls. Cheaney's last second shot fell short, series over, another sweep for the Bulls. For Pippen, this was vindication. Remember, this was the guy who refused to go into playoff game in '94 when Phil Jackson designed the final shot for Tony Kukoc instead of him. Now here he was, delivering when it matters the most. I'd rather deal with the pain tomorrow than losing today, Pippen said, referencing his hard fall that would probably have sidelined the normal humor for weeks.
Yeah, especially nowadays? Nah, not back then.
We lost to a very good basketball team, the best basketball team, Bickerstaff said afterward, in what might be the understatement of the century. We want them to remember the feeling. Oh, they'd remember all right. The following season, the franchise officially changed their name from the Bullets to the Wizards, ending a 35-year era. Within a few years, that promising core was dismantled like Lego set a toddler's birthday party. Webber was shipped to Sacramento the next year, where he eventually led the Kings to the brink of a title before the Lakers.
I'm a big fan of this team. Big fan. They got Page over there too, Vlade.
And some questionable officiating in the 2002 stop.
Doug Christie.
Howard bounced to the Denver and then Dallas. Strickland's career became a journeyman's tale. The Bulls, they kept rolling. They dispatched Atlanta in the second round, survived Miami in the conference finals, and then defeated Utah in 6 games to capture their 5th title in 7 years. Lather, rinse, repeat.
Yep. Do it again
But
next year.
behind the scenes, the dynasty was beginning to crumble like Roman Empire after one too many orgies. Jordan was explicitly tying his future to Jackson's, telling the Chicago Tribune, "If Phil's not back, I'm not playing." The clock was ticking. Here's the thing about 1997 Bulls Bullets series. The box score says sweep, but that doesn't tell the real story.
Agreed.
The Bullets weren't just another speed bump on Chicago's highway to a championship. They pushed the Bulls in all 3 games. They led late in Game 3. They forced Jordan to go supernova. It reminds me one of those heavyweight boxing matches where the champion retains the title but the challenger gains respect just for surviving.
Yeah.
The Bullets didn't win a game, but they earned respect. This series also represented the ultimate passing of the torch that never actually got passed. Webber and Howard, those college phenoms, were supposed to be the future of the NBA. Jordan and Pippen were supposedly in the twilight of their dominance, yet here were the veterans, teaching the young guns that talent alone isn't enough. For the Bullets Wizards franchise, this series was both their arrival and their farewell tour, the culmination of a rebuilding effort, and the last hurrah of a team name with deep NBA history. It is like they finally got invited to the cool kids party just as high school was ending. For the Bulls, it was another step toward immortality, another test passed on the road to a 5th championship. And for Jordan and Pippen, it was further proof that their partnership, now as much a genuine friendship as a professional relationship, remained the foundation of basketball's greatest dynasty. In the end, when Chaney's final shot fell short, it felt like the only possible outcome. Some things in sports are simply meant to be. The Bulls were meant to win. The Bullets were meant to learn. And Michael Jordan, he was meant to remind everyone that no matter how good you think you are, how promising your future looks, or how loud your home crowd gets, he is better. Always has been. Always will be. For Old School B-Ball, thanks for watching.
Yeah. I mean, you brought up a really good point there. And, you know, it's kind of a reoccurring theme here on my channel. The numbers don't tell, like, beyond the numbers. The numbers don't tell the entire story, ever. So you see a 3-0 sweep, you think, no competition. But yeah, if you actually watch the games, it's something different. And that's why I say great video. I would love just a bunch of videos. Let me see how this video performed. 3.3 thousand views. Man, unfortunately, hopefully these types of videos get more views, because I would love more videos like this to watch, because you could take pretty much any random series, but if you really break down every single game and everything that's going on, there's a story inside of every series that isn't being told on the box score at all. I've noticed that too, because there's certain recent games in the playoffs that I talk about on this channel, and I can tell based on your comments whether or not you've seen these games or not, and a lot of you are commenting, even though, trying to insist that I'm wrong, even though you obviously didn't watch the game. You're just repeating what ESPN is saying. So I think there's a whole nother level of absorbing the sport of basketball, the game of basketball, when you actually sit down and watch these games. So yeah, first of all, I highly suggest you guys watch the games if you're going to comment on them. But that just doesn't seem to be the way anymore. You just see whatever is being echoed by mainstream media, and then you repeat it and you assume it's the truth, even though you haven't done your research. But I would love more videos like this, because there's so many cool series that really deserve this same type of breakdown, especially series that were very close, very competitive, but are going to be long forgotten. So many 7-game series that the loser is long forgotten, but there's a story to be told. Anyways, guys, I'm out of here for tonight. I appreciate you all hanging out and watching. Let me know what you thought about this one. I thought it was an awesome video. Actually, I came into this video thinking it was gonna be more like a highlight reel, and I had no idea I was gonna be laughing this much. Like, this was a really funny video, while at the same time very informative and educational. So I can't ask for more. You're gonna have me laughing uncontrollably while I'm learning stuff. Yeah, I'm down for this. All right, guys, I'm out of here. Let me know what you thought. I'll see y'all in the comments. Like the vid if you haven't done it. I'd appreciate it. Subscribe for more content like this. And just in case, pretty sure I did it on the intro, but just in case I forgot, old Ludwig Drummer, thank you very much for joining on as a new channel member. I appreciate you all. Channel members or not, I appreciate you all. You guys are awesome. I'll see you guys in the comments. And be water, my friends.